Good morning, everyone. I pulled the chainsaw out to cut this one log in half and decided to continue this experiment that I've been doing back here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is our back pasture where we've been working on improving the grazing back here, and I've cut thinned some trees out to try to provide some more sunlight to the grass underneath. This pasture's been just more brushy and less grass. There's some pretty good grass in here though, but you can see the brush back there behind me. Here's what I'm doing. It's kind of weird. I'm knocking the tops out of some of these trees, which I know have a really vigorous growth habit, like this tulip poplar tree. And over here, this little walnut tree. And it's kind of ugly, but I'm doing it for a reason. These are trees that I might have thinned out of the pasture anyway, just to open up more sky, let the sun in here to the grass. It's about probably 12 trees that I'm doing this experiment on. And the experiment is called pollarding, and that's where you limit the upward growth of the main trunk of a tree and force it to grow in these fast sprouts. It's kind of like mob grazing your pasture. It's kind of like mowing your lawn. It forces this really beautiful thick growth. And historically, this is how a lot of timber was harvested. In the Middle Ages, pre-sawmills. And what it does is it actually makes the tree grow more wood than they would have anyway, because it puts them into this really intense growth cycle. And then with the tulip poplar tree, you can use that to feed your animals. You might think of it as tree hay. What I'm going to do is take all these tulip poplar tops. They look pretty bad, but you know, spring is coming. This wood may not look very appetizing to you, but even right now with no foliage on it, this older growth will be really tasty to the goats and the bark. So I'm going to throw this over the fence, and then I'll let the goats back out as soon as I'm done splitting up these logs. We'll see how they like it. The idea here is to actually create more feed from this area. They'll be grazing below in the grass, but then maybe once a year we'll be able to chop off a lot of branches and drop them down for a variety of food for the goats or cow. On trees like the walnut that goats may not be able to eat, I can't remember about walnut, you can use that small wood for other things. Come on, goats. Let's see if we can get them to come out here and nibble on this tulip poplar, see how they like that. They're not really showing a high level of interest, but that's okay. I do think they'll probably come back and work on it later. Kind of like our Christmas tree, which they nibbled on for like 2 weeks and finally ate almost all the bark off of it. And now they're done with it, for sure.